So in some places, spring starts earlier. Here in Missouri, it's just now starting to get stuff out. So you can look for bare root roses, and some of them come in bags, some of them come in plastic containers. Um, they differ. For some of the things you want to look for is make sure that so you'll often see bare root roses covered in wax, which is usually white. Some of the things you want to look for are making sure that the canes are plump. Like this is a nice thick plump cane. You can actually see some growth. You want to, if you're gonna go bare root this way at big box stores, you want to get there as early as you can. You don't want to see lots of thin canes that don't show any sign of life at all. So you want to look for green thick canes. Oftentimes they'll be packaged in sawdust or some other material. They're very different in prices, and get them in the ground as soon as you possibly can. If they're outside, that's better than being inside. Once they start putting out tons of leaves, they're going to start using up any moisture that they may be packed in. So just keep in mind that the sooner you can get to them, the better. And you'll see different varieties. Usually they're modern garden roses. A couple other comments is that because they are dormant or semi-dormant, you may not always get what they say they are. So don't be 100% sure that what you think you're buying is what you actually do buy. So just a heads up on that one. And if you have the ability to go to like helpmefind.com and type in the rose name to see if they are zone appropriate roses, that's great as well. So another reason that you want to get these early is because of the plastic lid. There's a break on this one that you can get it off, but with the plastic lid you don't want to break off all the new growth or growth buds. So if you can get them earlier when they first appear, you can get it off without so much damage. And I'll be right back. So I wound up just breaking the lid in half to get this thing out. That may or may not have been the best way to go. While I'm taking the rest of the other half off, I did just want to mention that if you go the mail order bare root route, at least in the US, you're probably not, you may or may not have like a sawdust or something that's packed in there. But I know the last time I did mail order, we wound up with this clear, almost like the water absorbed crystal things. The roots were soaked in, or not soaked in, but had around the roots. So it's kind of like a clear gel type stuff. So I got it out of the bucket. It's like this wet sawdust soil stuff. I took it off. I took it out of the roots. It looks almost like its own root, not grafted. If it is grafted, the grafted would be here and here. Because I don't know for sure if it's grafted or not, I'm just going to take this piece off. There we go. And I'll go ahead and plant that. You can, if you want, soak in water. Keep in mind, some of these canes may need to be trimmed. Like this one might be dead. Yeah, that one's brown. That one needs to be cut off as well. I'm going to cut this one back to here. Well, there's a little bit of green back here, so I'll cut it back there. But this one's overall pretty healthy, looks like. So the back of this tag actually has some information like water, keep it moist, the average size. This one actually says as trained. Spacing varies, cold hardiness. It needs fertilization. It just warns that there might be bee attraction. So if you spray and whatnot, pay attention to that. And I'll show you the hole in a minute. So here's the hole that I'm planning, and I ask you to excuse the dogs in the background. But there's the hole. I'm going to use most of the dirt from it to actually, since it's on a slope, to act as a well type thing on the downhill side of it. I actually have some dirt in a bucket that I'm going to use to backfill with. So with the roses that have wax covered canes, you don't have to worry about removing those canes, or the wax off the canes. The weather will do that for you. You generally want it to be either right at ground level, or depending on how cold you are, possibly even if it's grafted, put the graft union underground. Even if it's not grafted, or if you're not in a cold climate, sticking some of the canes like at ground level or slightly below ground level might be beneficial, so it will help add stability to the rose plant against wind rocking it around. Also, with backfill, you don't necessarily want to have like a super high amount of compost beyond, or organic matter, or super enriched planting hole, because if you do, you wind up creating essentially a bathtub where your roots will drown. And thank you for watching the video, and have a good day.